Does that mean like your generation? Seriously. Come on. And these pronouns. What the is with the pronouns? He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang. I don't like to argue. I don't like stress. I don't like conflict. But sometimes you have to face the conflict and the stress and the source of that. You can't make peace when someone has been so nefarious, in my opinion, so like horrible.
Hollywood has long been a place where dreams come true, but is it now turning into a battleground for cultural debates? With Sylvester Stallone taking a stand against what he calls woke Hollywood, the tension is reaching new heights. But what exactly does he mean? And what are the implications for the entertainment industry? In a world where every word and action is scrutinized, Sylvester Stallone has had enough.
Now with AI, you can literally put your brain in a pickle jar and have that machine do it.
The legendary actor, known for his roles in action-packed films like Rocky and Rambo, is making headlines for speaking out against the current state of Hollywood. But what exactly has Stallone so fired up?
I cherish these moments. I cherish hard work. Even though I hate it, I know it's like strong medicine. It tastes horrible going down, but it makes you feel better.
And he's not alone. Many are questioning whether the focus on wokeness is diluting the essence of storytelling. Could this be the start of a major backlash, or is it just a blip on the radar? Sylvester Stallone has never been one to shy away from controversy. This time, Stallone is taking on a new opponent. Woke culture. Yep, you heard that right. The man who brought us iconic characters like Rocky and Rambo is not mincing words when it comes to his stance on today's cultural climate. Stallone has made it crystal clear that he's fed up with all the woke madness, especially when it comes to his latest projects. And let me tell you, his comments are pure gold. In a recent interview, Stallone laid it all out. He insisted there'd be no woke nonsense on his movie set. Can you believe that? It's like a fresh breeze cutting through the haze of political correctness. He famously said, "I won't have a bunch of granola moms and their soy boy husbands telling me what I can and can't do on my set with my crew." You've got to admire the guy's boldness, right? But wait, there's more. Stallone's annoyance with the woke agenda goes way beyond just movie sets. He's also taken a stand against the whole pronoun craze sweeping across Hollywood. In a must-see clip from his new show, Tulsa King, Stallone's character delivers a line that perfectly captures his frustration.
Does that mean like your generation? Seriously. Come on. And these pronouns. What the is with the pronouns? He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang.
This sentiment echoes a growing frustration among many in Hollywood and beyond. Critics argue that the pressure to conform to a specific narrative stifles creativity and alienates audiences who simply want to enjoy a good movie. But Stallone isn't just blowing smoke. Recent controversies have fueled the fire of debate around woke Hollywood. Take, for instance, the backlash against Disney's casting choices and the portrayal of classic characters.
Whistle while you work.
The live-action remake of Snow White, slated for release on March 21st, 2025, has become a focal point of the debate surrounding woke culture in Hollywood. The casting of Rachel Zegler, a Latina actress, as Snow White has drawn both praise and criticism. While some see it as a progressive move toward inclusivity, others have expressed concern over straying from the character's original depiction.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess.
When the news broke in 2021, Zegler's casting led to a string of racist comments on social media, questioning why an actress of Latin descent would portray a character described as having skin white as snow. Zegler responded on X by stating, "I really truly do not want to see it. I hope every child knows they can be a princess no matter what."
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah. The film's creators have emphasized a modern edge in the story, eliminating the traditional narrative of Snow White being saved by a prince. Zegler explained, "She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true." Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, noted, "She's the proactive one. She's the one who sets the terms. It's these factors that make it so relevant event to today. This modern reinterpretation has sparked a backlash from those who believe it diverges too far from the classic fairy tale's essence. Critics argue that such changes risk turning beloved stories into platforms for social commentary rather than preserving their timeless charm. One TikTok user, for example, criticized the attempt to make Snow White into a girl boss, saying, "She's not supposed to be this girl boss, leader, queen, feminist icon, and I don't know why every reimagining it has to be that the woman is in a position of power. Otherwise, it's not feminist." David Hand, son of the director of the original 1937 animation, called the remake a disgrace in an interview with the Daily Telegraph, stating, "There's no respect for what Disney did and what my dad did. I think Walt Disney and he would be turning in their graves." In addition to the casting and storyline changes, the portrayal of the Seven Dwarfs has also been a point of contention. Peter Dinklage criticized the studio's approach, saying, "It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way and you're still making that effing backwards story about seven dwarfs living in a cave together. What the F are you doing, man?" In response, Disney stated it was taking a different approach to avoid reinforcing stereotypes, consulting with members of the dwarfism community to ensure a sensitive portrayal. The debate over Snow White highlights the broader challenges Disney faces as it seeks to modernize its iconic stories while respecting their historical significance. The company's efforts to balance tradition with progress are part of a larger conversation in Hollywood about diversity, representation, and the role of storytelling in shaping cultural values. And it's not just Disney under fire. The recent Paris Olympics faced criticism for prioritizing political statements over athletic excellence. With some labeling it the woke Olympics, the event faced calls for boycotts and public backlash.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be real. What they did at the Olympics, they all need to get canceled. You guys think this is a joke?
Here's what's happening. Two female boxers who were disqualified from last year's World Championships for being biological men are now allowed to compete in the Olympics. Yes, these athletes with XY chromosomes will be boxing against women, and it's raising eyebrows everywhere. Many people are questioning the logic behind this decision and wondering if common sense has taken a back seat. But here's the twist. These boxers don't even identify as transgender. According to a report by Outkick, the International Boxing Association's president conducted DNA tests and found athletes trying to compete as women. It turns out that these individuals have a condition known as a difference in development, DSD, meaning they have both male and female genitalia. With the rules appearing to change, it seems like anyone can decide to compete in a different category without the usual requirements. In addition, the Olympics are shielding athletes from uncomfortable questions by updating their media guidelines. They've banned terms like biologically male, biologically female, change, and born male to avoid offending anyone. This decision has sparked a heated debate. Supporters argue it's a win for inclusivity, while critics claim it undermines the essence of sports and ignores biological realities. Additionally, the Paris Games organizers aim to make this year's event the most sustainable ever, throwing around terms like plant-based, green, and sustainable. However, these ideals have led to widespread dissatisfaction among athletes. First, let's talk about the food situation. Athletes may have been excited about heading to Paris, expecting exquisite cuisine, only to find themselves facing shortages and subpar meals. The organizers attempted to introduce a one-third plant-based menu, but elite athletes who require high-protein diets found themselves having to ration meat and eggs due to high demand. Anyone familiar with the nutritional needs of elite athletes would recognize this as a potential issue, yet it seems the organizers did not.
It's not proper French cuisine like you guys might be eating because you guys are outside the village.
The British team even went as far as hiring an extra cook to prepare meals in their team headquarters, bypassing the insufficient options in the Olympic Village. The German national field hockey team openly called the food situation a disaster. In their quest for sustainability, the organizers decided to forgo air conditioning, citing environmental concerns. Instead, they implemented a water pipe system under the floors to cool the rooms, aiming for temperatures between 73 to 79 degrees Fahrenheit. But with Paris experiencing record-breaking heat waves, athletes struggled to cope with the conditions. Sarah Hirschland, CEO of the USA Paralympic and Olympic Committee, stated that Team USA would bring its own air conditioning units to prioritize athletes' comfort. The irony is that the same people warning about the dangers of heat due to global warming were now placing athletes in sweltering conditions. Athletes were unable to sleep properly, impacting their performance. For instance, Italian swimmer Thomas Secon, a gold medalist in the 100-meter backstroke, found himself sleeping under a bench in a public park, as the ground offered more comfort than the accommodations provided headed in the Olympic Village. Despite winning gold, he failed to qualify for the 200-meter backstroke, blaming the heat and noise for his exhaustion. Khan's complaints were echoed by other athletes, who found the lack of air conditioning and poor food quality a hindrance to their performance. While the host nation is supposed to provide adequate lodging and food for all visiting competitors, the Paris Olympic Organizing Committee prioritized their woke agenda over athletes' needs. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo boasted about showcasing a blend of spectacle, environmental preservation, and social justice, but the reality was far from ideal. The food issues continued with the mandate that 60% of all food served at the Olympics be vegan, eliminating popular options like avocados due to high transportation emissions. The limited meat available was often served raw or undercooked, leaving athletes scrambling to find alternative sources of protein. Emergency flights had to bring in more than 700 kilograms of eggs and a ton of extra meat for the Australian team alone. Other Olympians resorted to smuggling in food from outside the village. Even small details were affected by the green agenda. The committee proudly announced that everything provided to athletes would be made from reclaimed, repurposed, or recycled items, ranging from coffee tables made of recycled shuttlecocks to bean bags from parachute fabric. However, some items, like the 7,000 reclaimed toilet brushes, were unsettling, and many athletes found the cardboard beds uncomfortable. In light of these conditions, some athletes, including Team USA basketball stars LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Brittany Griner, and Breanna Stewart, opted for luxury hotels instead. Ironically, these sustainability initiatives often increase the energy consumed by the games. Flying in emergency protein and last-minute portable AC units significantly boosted carbon emissions, defeating the purpose of the green policies. These issues highlight a growing divide between those who cheer on the push for inclusivity and representation and those who feel these efforts are getting out of hand. And this isn't just happening in sports, it's spilling over into Hollywood too. So what's the deal with woke culture in the film industry? It's definitely changing the stories we're seeing on screen. But here's the big question. Is this shift making things more inclusive and exciting, or is it putting a chokehold on creative freedom?
They don't even allow these today because they're so dangerous. But that's what they used when I did the film.
Many filmmakers are finding themselves caught in a dilemma, balancing the need to address social issues with the desire to entertain. The result? Films that sometimes feel more like sermons than stories. Yet others argue that this evolution is necessary, offering a platform for underrepresented voices and challenging outdated norms. Meanwhile, Sylvester Stallone has been very vocal about his feelings on how political correctness is affecting the film industry. To him, it's like a disease that's spreading through filmmaking. He believes that political correctness is stifling creativity and turning movies into bland versions of what they used to be. And you know what? He might have a point. In today's world, it seems like filmmakers are constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to address sensitive topics for fear of offending someone. Stallone, on the other hand, is a breath of fresh air. He's not afraid to dive into controversial subjects head-on, even if it means facing backlash. This raises an interesting question. How does Hollywood handle those who dare to go against the grain? Let's take a look at Mel Gibson as an example. You might remember him from blockbuster hits like Braveheart and The Passion of the Christ. Despite his impressive talent and successful career, Gibson found himself in hot water with Hollywood after a series of controversial incidents and outspoken Christian beliefs. Hollywood seemed to turn its back on him, effectively pushing him out of the limelight. Gibson's experience shows how the industry can be quick to ostracize those who don't fit into its preferred mold. Then there's Matthew McConaughey, another example of someone who has faced scrutiny for speaking his mind. Known for his easygoing demeanor and impressive acting skills, McConaughey has never shied away from discussing his Christian faith. However, even he hasn't been completely immune to criticism. While the backlash he faced wasn't as severe as Gibson's, it's clear that Hollywood doesn't always embrace those who are openly religious. The situation with these actors highlights an unwritten rule in Hollywood. If you don't conform to the industry's expectations, you might face consequences. This rule isn't just about politics or religion. It extends to any aspect of personal belief or artistic expression that doesn't align with the mainstream narrative. It's a bit like a high school clique, where the popular kids set the rules and anyone who doesn't fit in gets pushed to the sidelines. In the film industry, this pressure to conform can lead to a lack of diversity in storytelling. If filmmakers and actors are afraid to tackle controversial or unconventional subjects, the result is a more homogenized and predictable set of films. The industry becomes less about pushing boundaries and more more about playing it safe to avoid offending anyone. Stallone's perspective is refreshing because he challenges this status quo. He's not afraid to speak out about what he sees as the negative impact of political correctness on creativity. Despite his readiness to tackle tough issues, Stallone hasn't escaped unscathed. Although he created the legendary Rocky series, he doesn't own the rights to it. Last year, Michael B. Jordan starred in Creed 3, but Stallone was nowhere to be found. He was a central figure in the first two Creed movies, even earning an Oscar nomination for his role in the 2015 debut. Yet in Creed 3, he's missing. While Rocky is mentioned, his actual presence is absent, marking the first time in 9 films and 47 years that a Rocky movie does not feature Rocky Balboa. Why this sudden absence? It appears that Stallone was not in favor of the direction Creed 3 took. The film marked several milestones for the franchise. Michael B. Jordan, who has been the face of Adonis since his breakout role in Creed 2015, made his directorial debut. However, Stallone, who has long been associated with the Rocky films, did not appear on screen for the first time in the series. Although he didn't act in the film, he did contribute as a producer.
Sly, let it be known, that he wasn't coming back for this one. But I think, in his essence and experience is always going to be a little bit of Rocky.
Creed 3, the 9th movie in the Rocky series and the 3rd in the Creed spin-off, keeps the story of the Rocky universe going strong. This film dives deep into themes like dealing with past traumas, handling fame, and the significance of family bonds. At the core of the movie is Adonis Creed, who started out as the unknown son of boxing legend Apollo Creed. Over time, he grew close to Rocky Balboa and became his friend and trainer. Adonis is dedicated to keeping his father's memory alive. He first does this by becoming a boxing champion and later by running a gym, with guidance from Tony Little Duke Evers. Tony is the son of Tony Duke Evers, who used to train both Apollo and Rocky. In Creed 3, the story takes a new turn. Adonis, now retired from boxing, decides to make a comeback and defend his world champion title. This decision is triggered by the return of Damien, played by Jonathan Majors. Damien is an old friend who has become a fierce rival and brings a complicated past back into Adonis's life. As Damien challenges Adonis, the movie explores how Adonis handles this new threat while confronting old issues and balancing his personal life.
Get off my car.
You don't remember me, huh?
Damien.
Michael B. Jordan's move to the director's chair for Creed 3 seemed like a natural step, given his significant roles in the first 2 Creed films. In the original Creed movie, Jordan worked under the guidance of Ryan Coogler, his longtime collaborator. Their partnership began with the 2013 film Fruitvale Station and continued with the hit Black Panther in 2018. Coogler, who produced Creed 3 and was also an executive producer on Creed 2, played a key role in motivating Jordan to try his hand at directing. Jordan mentioned in an interview with Entertainment Tonight that seeing Coogler's directorial work on Fruitvale Station was a major influence on his decision to direct Creed 3. Coogler even made himself available for advice during the production of Creed 3, despite being busy with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. In his directorial debut, Jordan brought a sharp eye for detail, particularly highlighting the importance of including American Sign Language, ASL, in the film. He referred to the movie as quadrilingual, emphasizing its dedication to genuine representation and inclusivity. Jordan wanted viewers to experience a world that embraced deaf characters, saying he aimed to immerse the audience in the ASL community and let them experience it fully. However, it's impossible to overlook the way Sylvester Stallone has been sidelined in the Creed series. With the release of Creed 3, it's striking to see that Rocky Balboa, the character who is central to the franchise's success, is absent from Adonis Creed's journey. Stallone, who laid the groundwork for this entire cinematic universe, won't be featured in this latest installment, underscoring the industry's tendency to overlook and underappreciate the contributions of its pioneers. But despite it all, Stallone is a guy who isn't afraid to shake things up. He's been around long enough to see how the industry can chew people up and spit them out if they don't follow the rules. But Stallone isn't about to play by their rules. Instead, he's carving out his own path, no matter the consequences. Whether it's challenging modern trends or standing up to political correctness, Stallone isn't backing down. He's like a modern-day cowboy taking on challenges head-on. In the 80s and 90s, Stallone wasn't the only big name in movies. Legends like Arnold Schwarzenegger were also huge, known for their muscles and memorable lines. While Schwarzenegger was busy making blockbuster hits, Stallone was making a name for himself in his own way. They both played tough guys, but Stallone brought something extra to his roles. He had depth. Even today, Stallone is still making an impact, but there's more to his recent films than just action. If you look at his latest work, you'll see a recurring theme of patriotism and family values. He emphasizes emphasizes these because he believes they are crucial. Whether he's portraying a battle-hardened veteran in Rambo, Last Blood, or a retired boxer in Creed, Stallone's characters always show a strong sense of duty and loyalty. It's like he wants to remind everyone of the values that matter most.
A part of my mind and soul got lost along the way. But my heart.
Anyway, as Hollywood grapples with these changes, audiences are left divided. Some embrace the shift towards more socially conscious content, while others yearn for the escapism that cinema once promised. But regardless of where you stand, one thing is clear. The debate over woke culture in Hollywood is far from over. In the end, Sylvester Stallone's critique of woke Hollywood serves as a wake-up call to an industry at a crossroads. Whether you agree with him or not, his bold stance has sparked a conversation that will undoubtedly shape the future of filmmaking. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.